Time to commit stat fraud. This time we got the steel type, a type that most people would argue is the strongest, due to its immense defensive capabilities. But we here to look at the numbers, not the strength. So here we go, 50 useless steel type stats. As usual, only the regular and regional form will be counted in the stats, not alternative or megas, unless stated otherwise. Let's just start. Kanto released the fewest amount of steel types at only 2. This is possibly because steel didn't exist back then. So accounting for that, Johto and Kalos are tied for releasing the fewest amount of steel types since its introduction, with 4. The most common steel dual type combination is Psychic and Steel, with 8 steel Pokemons having this typing. On average, the steel type has the most defense out of all types. 2 steel type Pokemon has a HP stat of 125 or higher. Both of them came from the Alola region. The lightest and heaviest steel type Pokemon are both Ultra Beast. Steelix and Scizor are the only Pokemon to gain the steel typing upon evolution, while already being a dual type pre-evolution. Unova released the most amount of steel types at 12, while Sinnoh has the largest concentration of steel types, with 10 out of 107 Pokemon being released having the steel typing. Klink was the first mono steel type Pokemon that could evolve. The 3 highest attack stat by a steel type all came from the Alola region. On average, the steel type has a base stat of 472. Galarian Stunfisk is the closest to this average with a base stat of 471. The most occurring base stat for steel type is 600, which happened a total of 8 times. Steelix has the largest defense gap out of all steel types at 135. Kartana has the largest attack gap with 122. This gap is the largest in all of Pokemon, not just for the steel type. 3 steel type Pokemon has the combination of their best 3 stat equal to a total of 400 or higher. All 3 of them are from the Alola region. When combining the worst 3 stats of a Pokemon, Jirachi is the highest amongst all steel type with 300. When combining the worst 3 stats of all Pokemon, Bronzor has the lowest sum with a score of only 71 among steel types. The 2 highest bulk to offense gap by a steel type both came from the Sinnoh region. 6 steel type Pokemon allocate 67% or more of all their stat towards bulk. 4 of them came from the Sinnoh region. Dialga has the highest offense out of all steel type with a score of 360. Registeel has the highest bulk out of all steel types with a score of 380. 23 steel type has a speed stat of 75 or higher. None of them came from the Johto region. The highest and lowest defense allocation by a steel type are both rock and ground dual type Pokemon. These are the top 10 Pokemon based on defense allocation by a steel type. 6 out of the top 10 has a typing of steel and rock. 24 steel type has over 115 defense. None of them came from Galar. The 3 highest special attack allocation by a steel type came from the same evolution line. Alright, we halfway done. Just letting y'all know my favorite steel type is Aegislash because it looks cool, has a clean shiny, and its ability to change between form is fun in my eyes. 2 steel types allocate 25% or more of all their stats to speed. Both came from the same evolution line. 37 steel type has over 70 special defense. None of them came from the Kanto region. Kartana has the lowest special defense amongst all steel types. These are the average base stats amongst all steel type, rounded to the nearest ones. Only Klang is within 14 points of each of the averages. Likewise, only Alolan Diglett isn't within 20 points of any of the averages. 3 of the 4 lowest attack allocation by a steel type Pokemon came from the Sinnoh region. Kartana is the best steel type physical sweeper with a score of 290. Dialga is the best steel type special sweeper with a score of 240. Stakataka is the best steel type physical tank with a score of 342, and Hisui and Gudra is the best steel type special tank with a score of 260. If special stats were removed, Magnemite would have the lowest base stat at 175. If special stats were removed, Kartana would have the highest base stat at 480. If physical stats were removed, Alolan Sandshrew would have the worst stat at 135. If physical stats were removed, Dialga would have the highest base stat at 440. Out of all types, Steel has the most amount of resistances, with 10 resistances, which is more than half of all types. Jirachi is the only steel type to have a triple digit value in all of its offensive categories. Jirachi and Dialga are the only steel type Pokemon that have triple digit value in all of its bulk categories. 2 steel type has an attack to special attack ratio over 4. Both of them came from the same evolution line. 4 steel type has a speed stat of 20 or lower. 3 of them came from the Unova region. These are the top 10 special attack allocation by a steel type. 5 of them came from the Sinnoh region. Skarmory has both of its physical stats double its special stats. There are 31 steel types with a special attack score of 65 or higher. None came from the Johto region. Klefki has the highest base stat among steel type without a triple digit value in any stat category, with a total of 470. These are the average stat allocations amongst all steel types. Only Metang is within 2.5 percentage point of each of the average allocations. Likewise, Bronzor and Excadrill aren't within 3 percentage point of any of the averages. If the margin is increased to 4%, only Bronzor is left. Yeah, those were 50 useless stats about the steel types. I personally think it's the best type in the game, and yeah, what type do you guys want to see next? And that's about it.